In an intense standoff, European war aid to Ukraine is stalled due to Slovakia and Hungary refusing to release $52 billion. The European Commission persists in convincing both nations to approve the war funding. Meanwhile, Ukraine, in its charismatic style, has resorted to threats. Kiev has warned Europe, signaling intentions to secure funds, and that too for a long term. Hello and welcome, I'm your host Piyush. Let's begin with the video report. In a bold move, Ukraine's national gas company NJSC Naftogaz of Ukraine has announced its refusal to extend the transit of Russian gas beyond the 2024 contracted expiration. Chairman Oleksiy Chernyshov cited Russia's alleged non-compliance with the contract terms, specifically mentioning Gazprom's failure to pay for the gas delivery through the Sokranivka gas measuring station in the occupied territory. Despite financial challenges, Naftogaz has continued fulfilling its transit obligations while initiating legal proceedings against Gazprom. For the unaware, the gas transit in Ukraine is pretty crucial for certain European partners' winter preparations. After the Ukraine war, the flow remains uninterrupted, yet the supply pipelines continue to scarcely fill Europe's needs. But now Ukraine has issued a clear ultimatum: the EU must intervene and pay for Russian gas to Ukraine. Now, this demand has put the European Union in a tight spot. Ukraine's move coincides with EU plans to phase out Russian gas consumption by 2027. But the limited alternatives and member states' reluctance to swiftly move away from Russian gas creates a conundrum. The EU is now faced with a pressing dilemma. Its dependence on the Ukrainian transit point persists, necessitating a prompt resolution. Chernyshov emphasized Naftogaz's financial limitations, indicating that someone must bear the burden. Ukraine intends to raise the payment issue in the coming months, urging the EU to take decisive action. Also, this ultimatum gains even more significance due to its timing. It was issued just before the European Union summit, where Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky addressed EU leaders via video conference. In this summit, the EU leaders diverted their attention to the Israel-Hamas conflict, neglecting the pressing issue of Russia's war in Ukraine until the summit's closing day. Adding to the complexity, Slovakia and Hungary had rejected the EU's proposal for the $52 billion war assistance plan to Ukraine. Ukraine's ultimatum has stirred concerns within the EU, especially considering the bloc's consistent support for Ukraine since the 2022 war's onset. Despite this backing, President Zelensky's decision to potentially alienate the EU remains perplexing. He is talking of December 2024, which is still a year away, as if he wants a long-term deal. His call for a long-term deal underscores Ukraine's desire to maintain ties. However, evolving global dynamics are increasingly limiting Ukraine's influence, forcing them to resort to such drastic measures. In the face of this ultimatum, the EU finds itself at a crossroads, torn between its commitment to Ukraine and the complexities of global energy politics. What do you think? Will the coming months prove pivotal in determining the outcome of this high-stakes standoff? Will Brussels again bend to Ukraine's demands? Or some member states have a plan B to neglect the pressure?